Welcome to my new series that I'm calling Art and Overthinking, whereby I go and look at art, see artists, enjoy exhibitions, and then massively overthink them and have an existential crisis. For the first exhibition and artist in this series, we are going to go and see Rose Wylie at the Royal Academy here in London. Now, one thing that I like to do when I'm taking myself out to art exhibitions is to kind of make a morning of it. Not a whole day. I don't have time to have whole days in which I can kind of dedicate to going to see art. I wish I did. I don't. But what I like to do is just to kind of make a morning or an afternoon of it, whereby I take myself out for a nice coffee or a snack or some lunch or something, either before or after the exhibition. This time I took myself to Waterstones in Piccadilly because as much as I love art and exhibitions and going to see art and enjoying artists' work, the next best thing is bookshops and books. And so, yes, that is a favourite of mine, and so therefore I took myself in there to have a little mooch around. I knew that there were some art books that I wanted to buy myself, so I did have a little look to see what I could get. But also discovered that they had a small kind of art supply section, which, you know, is danger for me, because art supplies and stationery, that is where I will spend all of my money given the opportunity and given the chance. I bought myself a couple of paintbrushes, I think, and I did buy some books. And then I went and sat in the cafe and I had a juice and a sandwich and kind of did a bit of sketching. So it was really lovely to kind of start my art date that way. If any of you are familiar with Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way, this is where the concept of art dates comes in. And although I don't do art dates as consistently as I would like to, I am trying to be better with that. Certainly because I'm going to be seeing lots more exhibitions and kind of taking you guys along on the journey for my Art and Overthinking series. I will be doing art dates and I will be taking you along with me. Once I'd had my snack and my juice and done my sketching, I made my way over to the Royal Academy buildings, which is absolutely stunning, massive, big, beautiful courtyard. It was blue skies and sunshine on the day that I went, which kind of feels a little bit wrong to be indoors when it's such lovely weather, especially in the spring months. But I took myself inside to go and have a look at the exhibition. The exhibition is called The Picture Comes First, and it is the first time the Royal Academy has had a British painter, woman painter, have a solo exhibition in their actual academy, which is bonkers in 2026. You would think that they had done this before, but apparently they haven't. Let's get on and have a look at the exhibition. So Rose Wylie is an artist who was born in the 1930s, kind of grew up, had her kind of like formative years, if you like, outside of London, but during the Second World War. Rose then went to art school in the 1950s. She went to Folkestone and Dover Art School. I think after graduating, I think she met her husband when she was at art school. They kind of got married and she kind of settled into the role of being a mother and kind of raising her kids. And it wasn't until she was much older and in the early 80s that she went and did an MA in Fine Art at the Royal College of Art. It kind of then took another 30 years or so, until about 2009, before she was actually kind of recognised for her work. She had been making work and she had been painting since she kind of completed her MA, but it took near enough 30 years for her to get any kind of real recognition. It seems to happen to a lot of women artists, and it's a real poor show on behalf of the art world, on behalf of gallerists, on behalf of collectors, that women still struggle so much to get their work seen, get their work recognised, get collectors for their work, and, you know, gain and or get paid for their work on the same level as male artists. So as I walked through the kind of Rose Wylie exhibition, there were lots of paintings that I really enjoyed for their kind of humour and their ability to kind of make me smile at their kind of content and their kind of subject matter, and also the way in which they are actually depicted and rendered on the canvas. I don't know that Rose Wylie is ever kind of intentionally trying to be funny with her work. I think she is trying to be intuitive. She is trying to be expressive. She's trying not to render things in a traditional kind of representative way or in a representational painting kind of fashion. She is and has said that she kind of wants to paint like a 5-year-old paints, and I totally get that, and I totally get that feeling of kind of freedom in her expression. The thing that I really enjoy about her paintings is that she has been said to kind of paint from memory. So she will see something in a film or in a newspaper, or she'll see an image, and she won't kind of like straight away kind of sketch it or kind of try and get, you know, it accurate. She does do quite a lot of drawings as a kind of preparation, as most artists do. And again, they're not these kind of beautifully rendered, perfect sketches that I guess a lot of people consider to be like a true test of, you know, whether you're a good artist or not. She's being very deliberate with what she does, and I find it charming, I find it lovely, I find it hilarious in most instances. I think this is what's refreshing about her work, and just because it's done in this style doesn't mean that it's not considered. All of these things are very deliberate, and it kind of comes across in her paintings. I think the fact that the scale is so massive, that they're such huge paintings, really adds to the impact and the effect of them. In one gallery, she has 3 paintings next to each other, which I feel like are the 3 kind of paintings that I enjoyed the most, other than the cat paintings, which of course, you know, cat paintings are always going to be my favourite. But these 3 particular paintings are, one's kind of a large reclining nude, if you like, was again taken from an article, a newspaper article, an image that she'd seen that she wanted to kind of recreate. The central painting is of a Choco Leibniz biscuit, which is being kind of thrown into a mouth, and it is very hilarious to me. I absolutely love it. I love the motion of it. I love the hilarity of it. I love how cheeky it is. It's great. And then the third painting is of an ice skater, which I think she was watching the Olympics or she's watching a competition on TV, and that kind of, the image of this ice skater kind of stuck with her, and she wanted to kind of put it down on canvas. These 3 are the probably, for me, the most successful paintings in the entire exhibition. The cat paintings are the ones that delighted me the most, I guess, purely because that is the kind of imagery and the kind of subject matter that I'm going to be focusing on for the next little while. She has in one instance used cats and plants in a kind of a sketch that then kind of makes it into a bigger painting. Of course, I'm going to be using plants and have used plants in my paintings alongside cats, so I enjoyed that kind of similarity between us. I've seen an interview just recently with Rose on YouTube with who I'm assuming is a gallerist from David Swerner, who she is represented by, and they're having breakfast together, and in wanders a little cat, and I can't remember the name of her cat, Sam or Fred or Pete or something like that. If I can find it, I'll let you know what that is. So yes, this little cat kind of makes an appearance and gets a bit of the breakfast, and she does mention in this interview that her cat is an inspiration for quite a lot of her paintings, and I believe in one of the very large-scale paintings where there's a large black cat, I believe that that black cat is a representation of her cat. Again, the kind of scale of the paintings are really impressive. That's what I probably enjoy the most about them. I think if they were on a smaller scale, I'm not sure that I would be as impacted by them as what I am. Her kind of naive style and the way that she kind of expresses herself is absolutely admirable, and I love that about her and about her expression. It's not something that I feel drawn to in terms of how I want to work. Perhaps I will try some of that in the future. Who knows? It's worth a go, I suppose, in terms of experimentation. But it's not a style that I particularly feel like I want to be kind of emulating and or I'm drawn to specifically. I hope wherever you are, you're having a creative week, and I'm going to see you next time.